All right, let's try this again. If anybody's there, let's try this again and see. All right, you can hear me. So, ugh, gremlins in my computer. I apologize. Let's try this again. Plus, I wasn't very good in the previous stream, so maybe a fresh start will be good for me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right? Okay. Salute back to sport. Hello, how are you? I had previous issues on my previous stream. Yeah, I was surprised by it too. Good job by them. As I was saying before, yeah, I tried to stream this before, but I had buffering issues. That yeah, just USC couldn't shoot in the second half. Kennedy Smith had open looks in the corner. She couldn't hit. Howell couldn't hit. Um, if I was USC, I wouldn't be bothered by this loss at all because UCLA shot 53% from three and they still struggled to beat them. Like USC was still in the game. You shoot 53% from three. How are you struggling to win that game if you have Lauren Betts? So I don't think USC is worried at all. I don't think UConn can get the one seed now because UCLA will be one, and then South Carolina will be two. Um, and then I think Texas will be three, and then who am I leaving out for four? Who have I left out for four? God, yeah. What do I have to say about Texas is going to be South Carolina? Yeah, here's what I got to say. I was wrong. That's what I've got to say. Uh, yeah, I was wrong about tech. What I thought I did this in the last video, but I don't think anybody heard me because of the buffer was so bad. I thought that I thought South Carolina used the same strategy that USC used on on UCLA, basically. Yeah, that USC used on UCLA. They basically swarmed Oldacre and Jones and dared them to shoot outside, and then they had Bree Hall did a nice job on Madison Booker and just used length on her and made her work for everything. The only thing that Texas could get would seem like Roy Harmon on a dribble handoff going to the elbow. That was money, but Booker couldn't get anything going. And then they would throw into the corner and they would throw in the corner and they just couldn't hit their shots. Like Texas was 1 of 8 from the 3-point line. So Texas, and that was always the question about Texas. It was always the question about Texas if they get behind, can they get back in a game? And they just couldn't shoot. It was one of those things. Michael, Texas has no offense. They are cooked. Well, if I think if they can't shoot and they don't get it going, then yes, they're cooked. I agree with that. But if they get it into a grinded out game where it goes their way, then they will struggle. Bet seemed to struggle in the first half. Yeah, she did. She did. But to their credit, they kept it together. It's just a tough team for her um, because their bigs are okay. Marshall can hold up. Marshall and Rice and who's the other one? I've lost her name, but you know the other big one as well that doesn't normally play but plays great against Okunwafu. They play her tough, and then things open up because in the second half she went well because it was opening up because Gardner was hitting her 3 pointers. UCLA shot 51%. What did UCLA shoot? 53. It's going to be a good day for Lauren Betts. Avery hit a couple of threes, get more playing time because she opens up the floor. Absolutely, yeah, and that's what I'd say. Avery hit more threes, she's get more playing time. Yeah, I mean the downside is freshmen you can't play defense, but that's been my thing. Is just I don't think I think Gottlieb, even despite this game, I think Gottlieb has done a better job of preparing USC for the end of the season because she's gotten her freshman in and ready to go. Having Barker play more was critical. Yeah, you know what? I thought Dugliach got a few minutes, but when USC went small and brought Samuels on with Dugliach out there, that was a struggle for them because I thought when they went small with Samuels, and I thought Samuels put initially good ball pressure on. It's like, oof, USC cannot handle that. UCLA cannot handle USC's small lineup. But then I thought Gardner hitting threes helped, and then I thought Barker played well, and then you were like, okay, they're on to something here. In the second half, where they threw it down to Barker, and she had a turnaround jumper, I was like, okay, this looks like UCLA's night for sure. Yeah, USC by far plays the best defense on bets. As I was saying before it got interrupted, I would say that with bets, it's just a tough matchup. USC, that's the only one. USC has really good bigs, but they got the better. UCLA got the better of USC tonight. It happens. Juju didn't have a very good game. Juju, what was her efficiency? Juju was like 9 of 28. Still went for 29 points. Got to the free throw line. If I'm I would still be quite happy if I'm a USC fan to stay in that game and have the other team shoot over 50% from the 3-point line. It's like with Booker seems to struggle against good teams. Well, it's hard going against Bree Hall. Bree Hall's long, and they're putting so much pressure on her. I thought the Texas nobody else. Holly couldn't make a shot. Like Holly went 0 for 7 for Texas, and that really hurt them. So Holly went for like 1 point overall. Texas was 1 for 8 from the 3-point line. You could see their shooters; they were open in the corner, and they just couldn't hit a shot. It was almost like when South Carolina played. What was it? South Carolina went versus Iowa, and uh, not South Carolina. When South Carolina played, yeah, Iowa in that Final Four, and they just dared South Carolina to shoot, and they couldn't hit a shot. It reminded me of that a little bit. Michael, UConn should win the Natty barring injury. I mean, my two favorites, even despite this game, is I would say for I my two favorites are winning the national championship. I would say I agree with you. I think UConn and I still think USC. I think USC can be a lockdown team in my opinion. But take it to what it's worth. On my picks today, I went, what did I go? 0 for 3. I went 2 for 5, I think. So take it what it's worth. But those are the ones that look most impressed to me. Should win. Let's see. Is Barker going to enter the draft? I don't think she will. I think Barker needs to stay another year, but they're getting very crowded because Lauren Betts' sister's coming. So I don't know. I never understood why Gardner and Barker went there when they know Sienna Betts is coming. So anyway, maybe Sienna Betts will do her time on the bench. I'm not sure. Texas coaches did not get Booker enough looks on the perimeter. I thought so. They were running her off screens and everything else, but my big thing with Texas was they needed other people to come to the party, and they just didn't. Like Justice couldn't get it going, and Holly couldn't get it going. I do remember Barkin saying she would declare after her junior year. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I just if I was Barker, what's your rush to get there? I don't understand what her rush would be to get there. I would I would max out my time in college. It'll be there. The only risk is injury. Michael, nah, Duke can win it too. With Duke, the thing that worries me about Duke is Duke needs somebody to. I think like Duke won today, Jackson went off, Economy went off, and that's what they're dependent on. But when the game before versus Notre Dame, they struggled to score, and I can just see them having a game where their offense goes stinky. Are they going to be able to overcome that or not? Like all these teams have flaws. Today was their day because they got two people to go off versus NC State. Let's see. All you have to do is remove the ball from Juju and beat USC. See, I don't agree with that because I think she's able to kick it out to Howell usually can hit shots as well as Kennedy Smith couldn't hit anything. Like they kept on getting her looks in the corner and she couldn't hit today. So I think sometimes yes, sometimes no. So I think, but the thing is the thing that would if I was a USC fan, the thing that would make me positive about USC is my God, we could not shoot very well today. Juju had an off day, and we were still in that game with the chance to win it. Like we stole that inbounds pass, and Juju took it down, made the shot, and we still have a shot to win it. Yeah, don't. Yeah, you see my tip sheet? Yes. So let's see. My tip sheet was fantastic. So I picked NC State. That's a loss. Let's see. Let me see my tip sheet. It was ridiculous. It was so bad. Oh my god. Here, let me grab the tip sheet. Oh my goodness. It's so good. It's bad. So what's the tip sheet here? So yeah, I had NC State, that was my pick. They were minus 2.5. That's a loser. Thank God for UConn. UConn was minus 27.5. They won by 28. So oh yeah, that was a certainty. Yes. And then I had Texas minus 4.5. Of course, that was a loss. And then I had USC minus 2.5. And then Baylor hung on. Like Baylor, or sorry, TCU hung on. I had TCU minus 2.5. I think TCU won by either 3 or 5, but that was a gambler's delight. So I need a good game in Hawaii to chase to make my money back. Duke could really make some noise. They've been really hot lately. They could, but again, I just think with Duke, it depends on if they're going. Duke is the only UCL player who has to leave. Yeah, I wonder will she'll get drafted. I'm curious about Duglich. Um, I wonder if she'll be a first round because WNBA would like her size and that she's a stretch. I could see like Minnesota drafting her. Duke has been my dark horse team since season started. They crashed the boards. Cara Lawson defensive strategies are really good. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, Saheed. I think they play good defense. Again, the thing that worries me is their offense is on and off. Toby needs more minutes. Yeah, she just needs more time. Yeah, I agree with that. How far do you think Texas is going to go in March? I think Texas going. I think they have the potential. I think they'll definitely make it to the Elite Eight, and then depending on who they match up in the Elite Eight, I still see them making it to the Final Four. Um, Vic Shaver mentioned the advantage more than 3 times in the press conference was a little much. The venue is 2 hours from Columbia, also 3 hours from Knoxville, less than 2 hours from Athens. Yeah, whatever, Vic. You know, that's the deal. I mean, all these coaches hate these conference tournaments, and I understand why. I mean, it's brutal playing the 3 games in 3 days. So that last game, they're just on fumes. So I don't read a heck of a lot into this because that third game is just brutal, and it was essentially a road game for Texas, but the problem with Texas, if they get into a game where they're not shooting well, hostile environment, you could see them struggling. I've said that the entire year. If a game gets away from them, can they bring it back? Is Raven an elite guard who she can make it? I don't think Raven will make a WNBA roster. I could be wrong, but I don't think her shot's good enough at this stage. I think she'll go to Europe. She'll get some more experience, hopefully tighten up her shot, and then she can make a WNBA roster. Although the game might change now with expansion, she might make one, and a team could see, we'll invest in Raven on the hope that she gets an outside shot. But um, I don't think she's she would much like be the one that went to the Sparks. Who was that for South Carolina? Was that Cook or Cookie? I can't remember who it was, but she was on the Sparks. She'll get that sort of chance, and then will she develop or not to be determined. But Texas is not used to running a conference, was lobbying hard to have it moved. Yes, as well. You can do the horns down in the SEC. Was that the whole thing? Like, didn't at the SEC meetings they talk about doing horns down was not going to be a personal foul. So yes, I don't mind Texas getting bullied a little bit because they bullied the Big 12 so bad. They killed off the Southwest Conference as well. Vic was Vic bad in the press conference? Was he a sore loser? I haven't seen the press conference yet. Vic was definitely acting like a sore loser. Like they scored 6 points in the second quarter. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what, Danielle? I'd rather my coach do that. Like at this stage, you're limited on what you can do. If it's early in the season, like when they went to South Carolina and lost, then Vic says, "Hey, my team doesn't have toughness, and I can get stuck into them." But when this late in the season, that's why I was surprised by Corey Close blasting her team because it's like it's a bit late in the season to blast your team. Yeah, that's cookie. Yes, thank you. Sometimes just how the cookie crumbles, basketball game and run. Sometimes that's 100% Saheed, and that's the whole thing with the one and done. So you're a madman if you're trying to predict this because any game anybody can get hot, and if they get hot, then it's your the one and done is so hard. That's what I was wondering. Like the other day in the last stream, I was saying, would you rather, if you wanted a more legitimate loser, you would have, or a winner, sorry, you would have, you'd set it up like you'd set it up like the NBA, 16 teams in the tournament, and they play 2 out of 3. But that's not as exciting. I'm not saying you'd have to do that, but that if you wanted to know who truly was the best, that's the best way to go about doing it. NC State is the team that made the Final Four last year. They could, yeah, they could, they could. It just depends. Again, if it's their night and they're hitting shots, then they win. That's why I think Duke and NC State, they're sort of the same team. If they get hot and it's their night, they can win and do it. I think Duke, like I said, I think Duke's defense is a little bit better than than NC State, but at the same time, Duke struggles on offense. But then Duke had a Conaway go off and Jackson go off, and that covered their offense. That's why they were hard to beat. Texas lead, yeah, I agree with that, Saheed. Texas is the lead 8 and should be in the Final Four, but will they get in that game where their shots won't fall? It gets ugly and they lose. Just an ugly, tight game. That's what you can see with the Longhorns. Is not a contender. They even Texas Longhorns is not a contender. They can't even score the basketball or shoot threes. I disagree with you, Chicago Cheetah. I think they're very much a contender. If the game goes to their flow, they just abuse teams on the inside. And the question is when they get into, like, let's say Texas plays Duke. I mean, all you need Charlie Crane to work out the brackets. I don't know all the rules on the bracket rules of who can face who, but I would take the Longhorns versus a ACC team just due to their toughness and just beating teams up on the inside. I might eat my words, but I'm good at that because I'm going to have to do that today, aren't I? With UCLA winning, and most likely come back. It's most likely come. Danielle, are you talking about Raven Johnson coming back for a fifth year? Yeah. I wonder if she will. Zaya Cook, thank you. Zaya Cook, that's the one. Thoughts on TCU? Yeah, TCU, fine. Their defense isn't good. Um, but you've got Prince, you've got Connor, and you've got obviously Haley Van Lith, so they can score with any team. It's just if they like the other one, they're sort of like an NC State in a lot of ways to me. If it's their night on offense, they'll run pick and roll you to death. Prince gives them ensures they won't get monstered inside. So Elite Eight. If I was making a prediction today, I'd say Elite Eight, and then they'll get knocked out by a really good team. South Carolina always has guards that struggle to stay in the W. Destiny Henderson, Zaya Cook is hanging on by a thread. Yeah, yeah. And I'm curious about the next. I want to see how Tessa goes. I want to see how Full Wiley goes. That'll be really interesting. Ty Harris, Alicia Gray, also 2 guards who are fine from, and Ty Harris. Isn't there another one? I thought there was another one. I always Kelsey Mitchell. Um, but Kelsey, I always get that wrong. Like, are there 2 Kelsey Mitchells? Is there one with Indiana? And I think there was one with the Sun, maybe. Anyway, Texas has to figure out if you don't shoot threes, then get your bigs out from under the basket, give your players space, drive and cut. Yeah. The, they just run a thug ball type thing, and they're going to keep on doing what they're going to do. We're just going to rock fight you and beat you up. But today wasn't their day. Tiffany Mitchell as well. That's the one. Thank you, Danielle. Yes, I think Raven will. You think Raven will come back? Interesting. Yeah, probably so. Why would she needs to improve her shot? So I'd come back. She missed a year because of her ACL injury, didn't she? That's my understanding with Raven. I think she injured her ACL in her like freshman or junior year. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure she did an ACL. Hard to beat a team 3 times with talent equal at UCLA was due. Will be very interesting to say how committed seeds. What is this? How committed seeds and places top 8 teams? Yeah, it will be. I think that means UConn loses out on a top 8 seed. Yeah, I think they're going to go down in terms of top 8. I think it'll have to be. God, what did I do from the last one? Let me just grab this. Um, Did I take a picture? So what should it be? Let me bring this up. So yeah, I think it'll be UCLA, Texas, not Texas. I think UCLA, South Carolina, and then who do we have? My thing's freezing on me. Oh, come on. So yeah, UCLA, South Carolina, USC, and then I always leave out one. God, go down. Um, it, so UCLA, South Carolina, USC, Texas. That would be my top four, and then UConn misses out, and they're number five. That's what I think. And then I know there's some talk about if Duke will take the number 8 seed. Let's see. Hard to beat. Yeah, Oklahoma Sooners could really make a run to the Final Four as well. Yeah, don't like their defense, but on their day, I see the Oklahoma as like an Elite Eight team, sort of making like a fun run like Oregon State did. And then when they get a team that can play two way, I think they'll struggle. Let's see. Let's see. South Carolina games charts are going to repeat. They can. They're in the mix. It's hard to repeat, so odds are against them, but we'll see. I don't see Raven game translating, but with expansion, she might get a roster spot. I agree. I think Raven, yeah, I think got to see how these roster spots play out. I could see the Valkyrie saying, "Yeah, we'll put you here and hope that you develop an outside shot. You develop an outside shot, then we've got something here because you can guard and you can switch and things like that." Raven coming back stunts. I agree with that. I just want them to put Full Wiley in to figure it out. Today, Full Wiley didn't have a good day. She tends to play a little bit out of control at times, but it I would just get Full Wiley in there, get her minutes, get her more comfortable, and let everybody know that's your player. Tiffany and Kelsey are blood are oh really? I didn't know that. Okay, there you go. Thanks, Sahid. Danielle, yeah, it was her ACL. I can't remember which knee it was. I think Raven can't play a lick on offense. You can't depend on her for bucket. She can't make clutch baskets. She had a horrible SEC tournament and offensive standpoint. I think Raven has not had a good year. All right. Um, yeah, I think Raven, her shot was better last year. Now, is that because she doesn't get as much space because Cardoso is gone? Not sure, but yeah, I agree with you. They need to get Full Wiley starting. They need to get Full Wiley more minutes and Tessa Johnson, in my opinion. Tessa, Raven, Lay, Chloe, whoever's at the five. Yeah, you want your five. You want Del Tack developing. They really need a Del Tack to develop at the five. That would that seems right to me. And Dawn Staley says she's smart and she's very raw though because she missed her senior year in high school ball at Texas because she had injuries. The best thing about her is she stayed healthy so far. Joyce or someone out of the portal. Yeah. I don't know what Joyce or someone out of the portal. UConn, Texas, and Elite Eight would be intriguing. It would be. That would be an interesting game because in a lot of ways, Texas, um, that's a good matchup because Texas is so strong on the inside. Um, which that's UConn's weakness. Is El Alfie going to play? Brady's getting more minutes. Can they hold up? Yeah, Brady probably has PTSD from the last time she went to Texas and just got mauled by Madison Booker. That would be an ugly matchup for UConn. At the same time, if UConn hits their shots and plays a beautiful game and doesn't let Texas disrupt them, that could turn into much like UConn versus South Carolina. That's what I have in my opinion on that one. Watkins most likely will redshirt next year. Um, Ashlyn Watkins going to redshirt next year. Okay, when did she do her ACL injury? It was like November, so that she'd be 12 months removed. I think she would be good. I forgot about Watkins, but yeah, yeah, Watkins would come back. I think Watkins will play in November. But if you would be more informed on South Carolina than me. I haven't paid the subscription for the newspaper. What about Kentucky Wildcats? What's your thought on how far you think they can make it? I think Kentucky could like I have more confidence in Kentucky than let's say like Duke. I like Kentucky better than Duke. And the reason is they have bigs inside that can compete and make it hard for. I know South Carolina beat them, but they can make it hard on a team like South Carolina. They can compete with Texas at times. At the same time, they have Amore that controls things. They've got a good coach, good point guard, and I could see them going further than like Duke or NC State. I could see them making a good run. Like they're that Elite Eight team. Could they shock and crash the party? I could see Kentucky doing that because Stack as well. She's been playing well at the end of the season. I thought. Um, yeah, I want to see how South Carolina goes in the portal. I want to see who goes in the portal, and then I'll start thinking about the portal. I want to see who enters the portal, who stays, who goes, and what is anybody that's had a good year this year going to go in the portal? That's my question. They always do, but yeah, I want to see who goes. I think Watkins would take a medical this year. Yeah, Watkins is like a junior though, isn't she? I can't remember if Watkins is a junior or not. Ask Watkins dunk on TCU December or January. Yeah, I mean, she's a physical freak. I don't think she'll be ready next year. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, from memory, I think her knee injury was yeah, I can't remember when she did her knee injury. I can't remember if it was after if it was in January. Was it in January? If it was in December, I think she'll be back. If it was in January, probably not. Will Anissa enter the draft? Anissa Morrow, yeah, Morrow is going to the draft. Yeah, I don't even think she has time. Maybe she has a COVID year, but yeah, she'll go in the draft, in my opinion. Zoe Brooks needs to improve. Yes, she does. Zoe Brooks does disapprove, and that's why NC State's that Elite Eight, but I'm not sure about them. On their day, they can be great, and then sometimes, depending on how Brooks goes, they can step back. Okay, who's okay? Watkins is a junior. Yeah, so I don't think Watkins will stay 5 years. Like I think she'll return next year, play, and then she'll have her other year to play the following year. Maybe is that right? So, oh, she's a junior this year. Oh, right. Okay, I see what you're saying, Danielle. Yeah, she might just totally get healthy and be ready for a redshirt fifth year. Yeah, you might be onto something there. Anissa has to enter. She has no more. That's what I thought, Danielle. Thank you. Yeah, and with her, that'll be the big one in the draft to me. How far will Anissa go? Like her shot is a struggle, but she's just so physically dominant and good that I would happily take her and see, hey, can you develop it? Much like Angel Reese, Angel Reese can't shoot, but she's got a body that can compete and get rebounds for her size and gets good leverage, and that makes all the difference in my opinion. And then you hope the other things develop. And if Angel Reese develops an outside shot, you have a superstar. If not, then you have somebody that can play the five that's undersized and switch 1 through 5. I haven't heard about Morrow at all. um, yeah, I think she won't go to Chicago. Like, I think she'll be like number 5 or 6, and I wouldn't mind if she went to like the Valkyrie, and they just used that 3 years to develop her. Hey, you're playing for us. You're tough. We're gonna develop your shot. You're gonna take shots, shot after shot after shot. You need to develop an outside shot. My comp for her was Biagé, Laney, Hamilton. I don't know. I know Hamilton's a little bit more of a guard, but that's what I see for her. Or anybody that can't shoot that's halfway big. Everybody compares them to Thomas. So maybe but she's not quite as big as Alicia Thomas. But you could see her being a bully like that and sort of running the point through her as well. I could see that. Um, let's see. Raven, Tessa. Let's see. South Carolina has the 3 best defensive players in college: Raven, Tessa, and Lay, all guards taught by Raven. Don't discount defense for offense. Um, well, Tessa's defensive numbers aren't as good as Bree Hall. I looked at that, and yeah, Tessa at times her defense has to improve a little bit, in my opinion. But she has length, which is good. Um, right, and then in the championship game against Iowa, Raven did a great job on Caitlin Clark because she was getting off on Bree Hall, but then Raven came down and put the clamps on. So good job by her. A few times I've seen Booker. I've been less impressed. Don't see her being a first team All American as some publics. Um, how much is Booker limited by the offense she plays and the way Texas wants to do it? Like that's my question with Booker. I think Booker's great. I love her shot. She's big, she can shoot, and she can get to the basket. So I don't have a problem with Booker. I think she's good. I just think she needs more help. I think if they get Chavez, then man, I think Texas, and if Harmon returns and then they have Oldacre next year, Texas could look pretty damn good. Wisconsin Badger coach stepped down today. Did they? Uh, okay. How big is she? How big's is it Soraya Williams could enter the portal? Okay, I'll have to look up her numbers. All right, I'll do that. Soraya Williams, and she's with that's Wisconsin. All right. Imagine her. Oh, what about the girl from Rutgers? Like you have to think she's going in the portal as well. Wonder who's going to take that her on. Imagine a rematch between Southern Cal and UConn in the Elite Eight. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to see that. That would be an interesting thing match. I think once again, um, I mean, I doubted UConn last year when they took on USC. I thought their big guards were going to be too much, and I thought as much this year as well. When UConn went small, that's when they got back in that game. That would be a tough matchup for UConn. that would that's a tough Elite Eight game. Rutgers went outside in the Big Ten. Do you think? Yeah, that's the one. McMillan transfers. Yes, I do. Like all our people are saying, yeah, she's going to stay. I don't see that happening. Mara was a do-it-all player when she was at DePaul. Mara was a do-it-all player when she played at DePaul. She took a lot of shots, but she was not efficient. She was not efficient at all. Like she she in like her freshman year, she was awesome at DePaul, and then the second year she started taking a lot of shots. And I'm a three-point shooter. I think she shot around. It was under 30%. She had good numbers, but they weren't efficient numbers. I made a video and laugh at it if you like. I said I thought Morrow should go to Utah just to develop as a full player and get an outside shot, but of course she wanted to go to LSU. The problem with her going to LSU, and she's had a good time. It's more than just basketball, I know, but because she's undersized on the next level, she needs to go somewhere where she was going to be allowed and encouraged to shoot the 3 pointer. And that's just not going to happen. That's not how Kim Mulkey plays. If you don't already shoot efficiently, they're not going to let you shoot it that much. So yeah, but she had a good career at LSU, still having a good career at LSU. By the way, they say her foot injury, I'm sure you all are aware. They're saying that she had a bruise on the top of her foot or a sprain. They say she'll be good to go and she could come back into the game, potentially that game, but they chose not to. So it seems like LSU is going to be fully healthy for the tournament, which is good. Yeah, and then I wonder with Booker doesn't always seem aggressive. Yeah, maybe a little bit passive. I'll agree with that. Um, I guess I see a lot of Booker and Sarah Strong remind me of each other, sort of in personality a little bit. Like they're the most talented, but they don't have that. Um, Times are so talented, sort of like the offensive lineman that's not aggressive. It's the defensive lineman's aggressive. Like they're offensive linemen that want to make people happy and sort of give to a little bit versus like Hannah Hidalgo, she just wants to rip your heart out and show it to you. That's how I see those two. So Booker and I wish I could do like a brain transplant and give Hannah Hidalgo like Booker's body and Hannah's before you crush me Notre Dame. Hannah Hidalgo's great as she is. All right, I'm not saying that, but if Booker or Sarah Strong had Hannah Hidalgo's mentality, it would just be ugly, like be unstoppable. TCU, let's see, what is this? TCU needs to get someone to replace Sedona. Yes, they do. And I wonder, do you think Del Rosario is going to stay at LSU? I think she's going to have to transfer out, in my opinion, but we'll see. And I don't know if LSU would mind her transferring out as well. It'll be sort of like a DeBerry situation. It didn't work here. I'm going to go somewhere else, and then just go sit on the bench at TCU. Aaliyah Moore's getting injured will hurt Texas in the tourney. Did she get in? Would she injure? Was it her? It wasn't her knee again, was it? Did Moore go down with her knee? And who's the girl for Texas, who plays the 4 spot as well? I'm not even gonna try to pronounce her name. What is it, like Saviatu or something like that? She got benched for a game for being late to practice. Uh, could she transfer out? Could she go in the portal potentially? I don't know. McMiller's from Rutgers. Yeah, curious if she enters the portal, where'd she go? Yeah, so am I. I'm very curious about that. Her people are saying, yeah, she's happy, but I'm like, I don't. I think she's gone right after the season. She did not enjoy being benched with their matchup with USC that was going to be on TV. Like the coach just sort of clowned her a little bit, and she was not impressed. After watching Texas offense, will Chavez fit in at all? Seems like a bad themes. Do you think so? I think just Texas needs another shooter. I think Chavez would give him that way. From what I've seen on the clips, and I said this yesterday. Um, when you watch these clips of prospects, everything they shoot goes in because they edited them. I mean, you can make anybody great in the editing video. So, but by all accounts, she has a really good shot. That's exactly what Texas needs. So if they could run Harmon and her together doing dribble handoff, the one that I'm excited about is Lizzie, is it Lizzie Jazzy Davidson going to USC because I believe she's a lefty and she can shoot as well. And I'm just thinking in my mind because I love the dribble handoff and I just have it in my mind. Juju goes right, gives it to Davidson. Davidson goes up left with the pull up, or Davidson's going left, handing it to Juju. That's going to put teams in all sorts. And then you have Kennedy Smith in the corner and Howe in the corner, and then I don't know, Samuel, and then Heckle will be a year on as well. So hopefully Heckle will be your solid point guard. That will be a nasty lineup next year for USC. So if they can get Davidson up to speed, running dribble handoff with Juju, and then Heckle's in the corner, and then I think Okunwafu, I think she's a junior and has another year. So USC, they're just they're going to get a chip while Juju's there. I will give you that prediction. Let's see. After watching Texas offense, will Chavez fit? I've said yes. I think that'll be fine. I think they need more shooters. Let me see where I am on this. Oh, was her knee? I hope it wasn't ACL because didn't she do her ACL before? So I hope it's not ACL for her. What is okay? Let me go back. After HVL or Amore, I've got Amore because Amore shoots better. Yeah, that's what I would have. But they're very close. I did a video a while back on both of them. Interesting. Like yeah, something about Haley Van List's dad. I don't know. It's hard to watch him at times, and I don't like it when the cameras track the dads. Well, I guess I'm being hypocritical there because I did like it when they showed Regan Beer's dad, and he just looked like a lumberjack with a great whistle. That did make me happy. But yeah, yeah, I go Amore, and I'm biased as well because Amore's from Australia. So there you go. Back to sports bias. I wonder if Chavez went to Texas. What happens to Harmon? She's coming back. Has she said she's coming back next year? That's my question with Harmon. Has she? I know she has an extra year. She's definitely coming back. I think it'll fit in fine because I suspect Chavez is interchangeable. Like she can play on the wing because supposedly her shot's that good. And I think she's like, is she 6 foot? I think she's like 6 foot, so she has length as well. I met Booker at South Carolina. She was very sweet, seemed shy. Yeah, that's Danielle. That's what I say. I think Booker and Sarah Strong are two peas in a pod. South Carolina is the number one overall seed in the tournament. Just updated. Really? Really? Okay. All right. So UCLA, despite UCLA, and I'm fine with that. I said I thought South Carolina should be one. So who updated? Was that Charlie Cream saying that's what he thought? So that's interesting because they got smoked at UCLA, um, and then UCLA has only lost 2 games, and they would say, no, yeah, that'll be interesting. Okay, let's see. Number two UCLA. Let's see. Number two UCLA. Let's see. Three US and number four. I'm not sure what that's saying. No way she stays at LSU. Last night was bad for her. She's never. Yeah, 100% Danielle. That was a terrible night for Del Rosario. It was really, really bad in that game. Like when they got her on, she had 2 gimmies and then got crushed in transition. Yeah, she got and then they called the timeout straight away. You could see Mulkey was pissed. You could see Reedus give her the tap on the shoulder, like, "What are you doing?" Okay, I hope it's that stinks. Yeah, that late season injuries. Hannah and Booker equal Juju. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think you're saying if Hannah's brain was in Booker's brain, if Hannah's brain was in Booker's body, then she's Juju, 100%. 100%. Yeah, bro. I literally mean no disrespect, but Del Rosario's not good at basketball at all. I understand that. I understand that. But the thing is, if you're 6'6", somebody's going to take a chance on say, we're going to work with you. We're going to get you conditioned. We're going to work on your feet when you come here. When we get to Barry at Maryland, she's going to play well for us. That's what coaches do. Was unplay? Yeah, please somebody. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Booker was let's see. I did like let's see. Booker was aggressive against LSU. And she has been aggressive most SEC play this season. SC defense just made her look ordinary. Most teams play her like yeah. It's not easy. You have to go against Bree Hall, and then they bring Tessa, who has size as well, against you. And they were just like, yeah, we're gonna have a body on Booker the whole way through. I thought it was good how Booker responded when she had her first terrible game against South Carolina. I think that's important how you bounce back. She bounced back well. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Danielle. You can say that. I can't say that because if I do it, it's a man shaming a woman. I'm not going to do that. Um, yeah, but she's just too slow right now. Like she just seems very, um, yeah. That's all I can just it's all she looks like a glacier moving out there, and then you see Caval for Notre Dame and Caval can move and knows what she's doing, and I think that shows how disappointing Del Rosario has been, unfortunately for her. But yeah, she needs to transfer, maybe go to a small school, get a fresh start or something like that. Yeah, yeah, it's always a thing with the bigs. DeBerry had good numbers when she was in high school. I think she was playing against low level competition, but they see them, and then you get to college, and it's like, oh my god, now I'm going to get somebody 6'4" who can move like me, and it's just a different game. And then you go in the WNBA, it's another step up. Those bigs, it's tough. Maybe she'll transfer to Syracuse, where her best friend went to, left LSU. Was that the point guard of LSU? I think it was. I forget what her name was. I think it was the point guard. And surprisingly, she was McDonald's All American. Yeah. Yes, Michael, she was ranked high in the class. Yeah, I think Del Rosario was ranked like number 6 or 7. So yeah, she was high up there. Yeah, it was the point guard. I can't remember who the point guard was. Kim Mulkey still can't find a point guard. That's embarrassing. She needs a point guard. Maybe she should have paid the million to bring Chavez in because I always make the joke in my videos, but she's like Steve Spurrier with the quarterback throwing the visor. So Poa does something stupid, she throws it, and hands go up, Poa comes off. Then they put Dave Wilson in. Dave Wilson does something stupid. Then okay, I'll go to Gilbert. And then Gilbert does something bad or doesn't play defense. I'll throw it up. Maybe go to the gym once in a while. Um, yeah, the point I can't remember that point guard's name though. Maybe go to the gym once in a while. Used to be well, unfortunately for her as well. I know her freshman year she had issues with her ankle. They said, so I just don't know if her legs. I don't want to pick on a 19-year-old. That's not what I want to do. All right. How long have we been doing this? God, 43 minutes. Okay, we'll stop it. I'm going to do a hard stop at 60 minutes. So about another 17 minutes if we still have questions. Um, what else did I see today? Yeah, Kits was good. Yeah, I think South Carolina needs Kits to be good. TCU was able to hold them off. UConn, nobody got injured. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Player doesn't have natural talent. Mulkey seems to know how to develop her bigs. Point guards, shame on her. If a player doesn't have natural talent, Mulkey seems to not know how to develop her big or point guards on her. Uh, with Mulkey, you know who she reminds me of? Kim Mulkey reminds me of the Houston Cougar coach, Guy V. Lewis, who was just all about toughness and teaching their bigs the drop step and stuff like that. So I think and nobody will know who the hell Guy Lewis is. And Guy Lewis could never get a championship. So Biggest heartbreak of my life was the Houston Cougar team that lost to NC State. Everybody celebrates that. That's like an arrow through my heart. It sounds. I'll never get over that loss. I'll be on my deathbed. Dream, why did you go to the high key? Anyway, I digress. Kate Koval is developing. She needs to stay out of foul trouble. She'll be a better rim protector than she is now. Yeah, yeah. Caval has shown that she'll be a good player. Yeah, she'll be fine. She's a freshman. She's getting time as a freshman. She covered Notre Dame and got good minutes when Maddie Westbelt was out and when who else was out? Watson, I think, or Watson transfer. I can't remember. But yeah, Caval's had a good freshman year. Yeah, I'd be happy with her. I'd be happy with her if I was Notre Dame. Um, I think Corey Close saved her job by winning. UCLA can't fire Corey Close. Even she recruits so well. If they fire her, all those players would leave. But it would have been very. It was starting to look a little bit like who was it? Ohio State when Bruce Pearl couldn't beat Michigan. I think they fired him. I think it was a Bruce, not Bruce Pearl. It was oh god, Bruce something. I can't remember the Ohio State coach's name, but he couldn't beat Big Ten. And yeah, I agree. Yeah, Corey Close isn't getting fired. She recruits too well, and she only lost 2 games, or 3 games. But it definitely hurts when you're losing those 3 games to your crosstown rival. If she would have lost again, it would have been very, very. Um, Now that is a good question. All right, so let me just finish off that. Corey is fine with her job. Corey motivated her team wonderfully. Back to Sports was totally wrong. She called out her team, and it worked totally well. They had a team meeting and sorted it all out, and that's why they won. So I apologize unreservedly to you, Corey Close. Back to Sports was wrong, much like my picks that I went 2 for 5 on. Now I like this question: Who's better, Kate Caval, Cavell? Sorry, I call her Caval. God, Cavell or Jana L. Alfie? I would say right now, Caval, but next year, I think if El Alfie settles down, I think El Alfie will be long term better than her. I might eat it on that one. Might eat it a lot on that one. And then Gino is saying that in practice, El Alfie and Sarah Strong play really well together. And I guess we're all holding on to the under 19 championships where El Alfie went off. We're just like, yeah, she'll be that player that's so dynamic. And she hasn't shown it. Like the only one was when she crossed over South Carolina. It was like one, and you're like, there it is. El Alfie, you do have it. Um, you think Cody McMahon regressed, do you, Michael? I thought when I look at her numbers, she's shooting, she's coming along fine. She has a WNBA body. Just looking at her stats and that she can shoot the outside shot, no, I'm happy with Cody McMahon. I just think Ohio State is just the way they play that press. I think they get found out at the end of the season. Bruce Weber, is it Bruce Weber? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think the way Ohio State plays at I think at the end of the season, teams are more prepared for the press. I think that might be why they fall off a bit. Bruce Weber, was that the Ohio State coach? Or yeah, maybe. I just can't remember, but I always remember he recruited he all Ohio State picks were going to the NFL, but he couldn't beat Michigan, so he lost his job. Ah, Phi Slamma Jamma. Thank you, Pastor Personality. Yes, indeed. Phi Slamma Jamma. Clyde Drexler, Akeem Olajuwon, Larry, Mr. Mean, Mishaw, Michael Young, and Benny Anders, the best player that never made it to the WNBA because I think he just went off the rails. I think Jana will be better too. Yeah, Saheed. I think so, but next year will tell. But I could see her and Sarah Strong having a really, really nice um, chemistry together on the court. Yeah. I can't blame Mulkey for not getting the best out of players who don't have any talent. At the end of the day, it's the player who makes the game, not the coach. I agree with that. Like, I think sometimes you can go to another system, or if you're in like South Carolina and, who is it? Sanaya Rivers, she was just stuck behind other players. You need to get out of there, get playing time. But if you're getting playing time, like uh, UConn was desperate for um, was desperate for God, how can I forget her name? But desperate for their big Amari DeBerry to break out and do something, and she just didn't have it. Like they could see it in practice, and they gave her chance out of chance. And Gito's like, yeah, she can transfer. We rarely have transfers that go somewhere else that do great. Same thing with what is it, Poffenbarger? Like she went to Arkansas, now she's at Maryland. She is what she is. She's can sit in the corner, shoot shots. Sometimes she'll have a good day, sometimes she won't. But I can see, I do like the South Carolina way where Don's like, hey, I take all the best players. You come here, you compete. You will get some minutes and see if you can be the best. And then if you're not and you want to get the heck out of here, hell, we'll help you get out of here. Like with the player that had the disciplinary issues last year, I thought Staley handled that great, was supportive and everything else. I like the way Dawn Staley runs her business. I think this will be a good tournament. I feel it's wide open, 100%, Michael. It's going to be a great tournament. Mulkey does miss Angel. Angel fits her aggressive, just hard in the middle. And then the other one that misses Angel, I reckon, is Samaya Smith because I think that made life much easier for Samaya Smith. And now Samaya Smith is on an island because, God, is it Wolfenbarger? I always get her name wrong. Is it Wolfenbarger? Woo! Yeah, Wolfenbarger just, she's fine, but Mulkey's like, I'm going to turn you into a mean and nasty 4 or 5. And that's just not what her game is. Yeah, Mulkey, yeah, Angel was a great player, especially she's a great college player, you know. So I've got no, and she could turn games around. Like when they were playing Iowa last year, like she picked Caitlin's pocket a few times, and she could make the key play when she wants to. Like unfortunately, I'm in this position where I'm an Angel hater because I say I'm not a big fan of her shot. I think it's going to be hard in the WNBA, but I'm a big fan of Angel Reese because I respect the players that rebound and play defense, and that's what she mainly does. And if you do that, then you're a good teammate. And then as well, I mentioned this before, but yeah, I'm in this position where people think I really don't like Angel Reese, and I don't. Like when they were playing Utah and she was on the bench, I think she'd fouled out. She was good on the bench. She didn't mope or anything. By all accounts, her teammates like her. Like I know she and Flage, I don't know what their issues are. John Cooper, thank you. I don't know what her and Flage's issues are, and I don't care. You don't have to love your teammate. You know, all these teammates don't love each other. It's fine. Injured January 5th. Okay. Yeah, she could be back by like 11 months. You don't have to be out 12 months for an ACL. So there's a chance. I guess the question would be if she gets a like if she gets a red shirt year, so she can come back next year and then has the year after that, then I think she comes back. That's what I think with Ashley Watt. Like if they're allowing her to redshirt for this year, because I believe she's a junior this year, and calling it a no year because she didn't take too much time, then yeah, I think she'd play next year as a redshirt junior, and then would have the next year as a senior. Yeah, she'd be back. John Cooper, thank you. That couldn't thank you, John Cooper. That is the one that was going to bother me. Well done, thank you. Yes. The national tournament's gonna be amazing. Starting the 19th, yeah. Only thing is the first round, will there be an upset or not? We gotta get through that first round. And then the news that weekend will be who will go in the portal, I reckon. Angels' best team in college was still the 2021 Maryland squad. You know what? Why did she leave Maryland? What was the deal there? Did she not get along with Freeze or what happened there? I never did a deep dive on that. I need to look at that. Why she left um, were they telling her to tone it down and she didn't like that? So Kim Mulkey said, "Hey, you be you, and I don't care." I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, talk about the one that got away from Maryland, Angel Reese getting away. That hurts them bad because she's from the DMV, isn't she? Like she's from there, isn't she? I believe she's a Maryland girl, is from my memory. Like I think I did a video on that. So, um, let's see, we've got about 6 minutes left. Angel averages double-double as a rookie. How many players current? Not many, but not here's the thing, and I don't wanna she's from Baltimore. Again, it comes off that I hate Angel Reese. I don't. She rebounds great. She has leverage. She reminds me of Moses Malone. Could always get leverage and get the rebound. You're like, how the hell did he get that rebound? So I'm fine with that. But my problem with her is you just can't shoot under 40% from the floor. If you are, you're a liability on the floor, and if you're an undersized four, then you need to be able to stretch the defense. And I've said it a million times. People think I hate Angel Reese. I don't. I just think Cardoso paired with Angel Reese is just an awful, awful pair up. And I just think Chicago blew it by putting those two together, especially when they had Alana Smith on their roster, who's like 6'4" and can shoot. And I would have been fine them taking if and it's easy to say captain hindsight, but for me, I would have taken Rakia Jackson and then gotten Angel, and I would have been fine with that. And then Alana Smith, I'm fine with that lineup. But yeah, um, yeah, that's what I would have done. But I do like Angel Reese before people think I hate Angel Reese or something. Let's see, Pastor. Thanks for your channel, best women's basketball site on YouTube. Well, thank you for that. That's it. I'm definitely an acquired taste, and some of this is I think I'm yeah, like Angel Reese. Some people think I don't like Angel Reese. I like efficiency. And some people are like, oh, how can you choose Paige Beckers over Juju Watkins? He's racist, he's white, and that's why he likes him. No, I just like efficiency. I tend to favor that. That's my personal bias. I still think Juju's great. I don't really care if you're black or white or anything like that. I just care about how you get the ball in the bucket. And I tend to like offense more than defense. I have no idea as well. Remember, met her. Uh, let's see. Thanks for your channel, Sahid. I have no idea as well. I remember I met her and most of the team at Bentley's Lounge near University of Maryland. Yeah, I wonder why she took. Your take was accurate. She averaged most shot attempts from within 5 feet, shot 40 from that range. Yeah. So Ennis Betancourt was starting for Gonza until conference play. She gets a lot of playing time off the bench. UConn only brought Betancourt because 100% she was overmatched from the She shouldn't have been at UConn. She was a good sport. She won them one game. There was a tie game where she hit free throws. I think the year where they were without Paige and she hit free throws. Yeah, she's good. Yeah, and she got a few years at UConn. Would have been nice. And now Gonzaga go have a good career. If the refs call more fouls, she won't get mugged on every rebound. Who is this? If refs call more fouls, she won't get mugged. Is this for bets? I don't know why people act like you like Angel. I don't know why people like. I guess you act like you like Angel and Caitlin Clark at the same time. I don't. I don't mind either or. I don't. I don't care. Um, the funny thing is, I piss off Caitlin Clark fans because I don't think Caitlin Clark plays good defense. Like in my opinion, Caitlin Clark's a white James Harden. So so Caitlin Clark people hate me as well. So again, I just piss everybody off. I don't know what my demographic is as well. I piss off UConn as well. Yes, yes, yes. Corey Close. Yes, I bow to Corey Close and her wisdom. She knows much more than back to sports. Yes, she got me. Congratulations, Corey Close. Back to sport has to eat it. I'll need to do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was wrong, wrong, wrong. Princeton game, Nick went out with a concussion. Thank you. There you go. Things I halfway remember and you guys remind me. It's beautiful. Agree. People call me on Twitter because I'm a black man. I said CC is my favorite player. Yeah, it's just again, I really don't care. When Caitlin Clark annoys me when she takes those long shots, right? But when they go in, I'm just like everybody else and go, "Oh my god, that's fantastic!" She took it from the logo, but when she misses, I'm just like, "God, that's why you didn't go to UConn. Gino would have killed you for doing that." But when it goes in, I'm like, "I'm glad you're there and you can do that. You can go there. You're a class act, sir." And see us, yes. And she plays defense like James Harden. James Harden. I used to defend him when he was with the Rockets. This is the year James is going to get it done. I just saw a little promo commercial. I just saw a promo commercial on James Harden is matured and now he's going to lead the Clippers. I was like, oh, it's like almost like Lucy pulling the ball. Oh, Michael, don't you know the whole Gino didn't recruit Cece? Uh, Michael, where you been living? Oh my God. Every time UConn does something bad, CC fans want to give it to UConn and Gino and how disrespected he did of not recruiting her. And It was Caitlin Clark's dream to go to UConn, but UConn never called, and and he never really called, and what was the other thing? And then I've seen some of the things off the record, who was it? Dan Conley is pretty plugged in. What they say is basically UConn knew that they were already in on Paige Beckers, so they didn't want to rock the boat by bringing her in. They didn't think they would fit together well, even though they did play together in the under 19s. But the other thing was that Caitlin Clark was a bit of a powder as well. If it's not going well, she can sulk and be a pain in the ass, and just they didn't like that part of her game. I think, and it was the best thing that ever happened to Caitlin Clark. I think going to Iowa was perfect for her. I think Bluter handled her great and got her. She matured really well over her 4 years. Like she could be a powder at times, but that was a hell of a lot less in her junior and senior year, and that's what you want. Go somewhere, growth. She turned into a star. It helped college basketball. Yeah, Gino didn't recruit CC. Like they didn't do it. They did, and then like when they asked Caitlin Clark about it, Michael, she was like, "Yeah, UConn never called me." And then Gino's like, "Well, Caitlin Clark had my phone number. She could have called me to ask to come." It's like, come on, if you wanted her, that's not how it works. Like teams have to show more of an interest and offer, so you more into players who are more so a two-way player. Yeah, that's what I like, a two-way player. And that's the whole Olivia Miles versus Paige Beckers. I think Paige is efficient, and I think her height will allow her to switch 1 through 4. So instead of just being a small player that gets picked on, and that's why I sort of think Amore and Haley Van Lith will struggle just with their size at the next level. And I know Ari McDonald's makes it, and what is it? Canada is playing well and all that, but I just tend to think that's better. I watch both you and Quita Love sports videos religiously. You both have great insights into basketball. Yeah, I like Quita. We got into it on Chicago, me and Quita. Like I think it was last year. Like she got pissed off when I did a video on Cardoso because I thought Cardoso there was a good chance Cardoso would be out for the season with her shoulder. Just I've seen that happen before. So she's like, "Oh, you're out of line doing that." And I was like, eh, and she was right on it. Like Cardoso played the rest of the year, although I think she missed the last few games at the end of the season, but she still hasn't had surgery. And I thought she was going to have surgery, but I was just like, I don't see Chicago competing this year. And then she was a little bit right because I didn't expect Kennedy Carter to be good, and Kennedy Carter was their savior. That's why I'm so pissed off at Chicago for letting, Kennedy Carter save their bacon last year, and they just threw her out. I'm just like, what are y'all doing? So yeah, we disagree, but I like Quita. I think she's great. She's great on live streams. Like to do that and try to look at the comments and talk to people. She's great. Yeah, I like Quita so much. I like two-way players as well, but really like players that can really shoot consistent. I'm the same way. That's my weakness. If you can shoot, I'm a sucker for you. That's why I like UConn because I can see Gino's vision of his whole thing is, hey, I want to space the floor. I want everybody to be able to shoot, pass the ball 1 through 5, and we know we're going to get good looks. And I want my short forwards to be able to shoot and everything else. And when it works, the thing is just beautiful. Like when it works against South Carolina, it's just magic to watch. Like I said, when UConn took out South Carolina, it reminded me of when San Antonio played Miami in the rematch for the championship, and just San Antonio was just unbelievable. They were moving the ball, and everybody had open looks. They had Ginobili getting looks and hitting them, Kawhi, and it was just beautiful, beautiful basketball. That's what I live for, and you'll get that not all the time with UConn, but you'll get that a little bit with uh, just in, like when they played Louisville. Like Louisville, they had a beautiful game, and it was just like, man, if they could always, when it does, it's just perfect. They can't always play like that, but when they do, I'm just like, that's what basketball is, man. The ball's pumping and moving. Same way, that's why I love Golden State when they had it going. Just they had shooters, they moved the ball, and it was just a beautiful thing. And even though I was a Rockets fan, I had to smile a little bit when they took out the Rockets. Uh, when Durant went down, and they went on Houston's home court and just did it to him. And it's just like, yeah, well done to you for doing that. You play the right way versus Harden just doing his ISO ball. Do you think NCAA will? Do you think the NCAA Women's Final Four will be UCLA and University of South Carolina? If yes, who will win it all? Um, no, my pick is, well, depending on where they put them and how the brackets shape out. My 2 favorites are UConn and, USC, but I I I'm the guy that went, I am the guy that went 2 for 5 on my picks this morning and was a degenerate, hoping that UConn would cover with that 1 point. So take my picks with a grain of salt. Definitely don't put the college fund on them. That's who I've got. I've got UConn and USC. Yeah. Yeah, no. That's why they build the hotels in Vegas. Uh, RC, the Iowa UCLA guy. It's gonna be open field where at least anywhere 4 to 8 teams could be in the championship contender. 100%, and because it's one and done, anybody could win. Anybody could win this tournament, you know. So, and people come back, South Carolina won the chip. You said they weren't going to win it. You said it'd be either USC or UConn. Yeah, I'm wrong. You know, they could win it. I don't know who's going to win it. Apparently, on it's a one game deal. Anything can happen in one day. Who was it that went off for LSU? Carson, was it Jan Carson? Yeah, I mean, when did he go? Like 8 of 9 from the three-point line or something ridiculous. Apparently, Kennedy Carter's attitude was very bad. That's why she's not brought back, because there's no way you don't bring her back after what she did. Other teams have yet to pick her up. Yeah, Saheed, I've done videos on this. I don't know how bad Kennedy Carter is or good or whatever. I do note, you know, they did this. There was a video for the team of who the funniest person on the team was, and half the team said Kennedy Carter. So I think Kennedy Carter's like, hey, I ball, I get to the hole, I make buckets, and this is what I do. I imagine she might be a pain in the ass to coach, but she was the best player on that team last year. So, and I'm not in the locker room, I don't know, but if I'm Kurt Miller and I'm Tyler Marsh, because Kurt Miller cut her, didn't even give her a chance, just based on rumors, and I'm Tyler Marsh as well. I'd bring her in and say, hey, this is what I need you to do. If you can't do it, you're out of here. What do you have to lose? Because she wasn't going to be on a big contract. She was a restricted free agent, and that's isn't that what coaching is, to see if they can fit your system, and if you can get the most out of them. That's what I think. Um, what is this? Why do you think UConn bigs Jana have trouble putting up consistent, strong performances? Um, yeah, why do I think that? Well, I think Jana L. Alfie's a freshman. I think um, she's just moving too fast at times. Like, she needs to slow down, and she's trying to just rush. She's one of those players that's just like, oh, I've got the ball, I've got to shoot, shoot. She rushes all the time. I think Ice Brady is multiple problems. I think Gina says, um, um, I think, yeah, I think Ice Brady struggles with confidence. If her confidence down, and then she lost her shot, which makes it really tough. And I think is a big confidence problem with her. So that's basically why I think El Alfie has a chance to be better next year if she slows it down. Ball for real, hit like it's like late, but how about them Bruins? Ball for real. Yeah, I've already eaten it earlier in the video. Ball for real. Yes, I did. You'll need to go back. I unreservedly apologize to Corey Close. She motivates the players. Yes, during the game, I wanted to grab my vomit bag when they told me about the team meeting that Kiki Rice held. I love team meetings. I love team meetings. Oh, we had a team meeting and now we're going to play hard. But nah, Corey Close, all praise to Corey Close. It turns out, back to sports, under 10 coach doesn't know as much as Corey Close. All hail Corey Close. Wasn't sure we are going to win that game until you, 100%. You tried to gack it when um, Jaquez threw that ball away, and Juju got it. I was like, "Ooh, where do you better hope Reggie Miller is not going to come off the bench for." Well, I guess Reggie Miller's a USC guy, isn't he? So I guess it'd be Cheryl Miller. Don't let Cheryl Miller steal that ball and do a Reggie Miller and tie that game because yeah, they tried to gack it. So there you go. Um, yeah, all there. UC UCLA is a better team than USC. Is now I'll have to now that's just right there. That's going too far. UCLA is better than USC, even though USC has beat them 2 out of 3 times. I have a problem with that. Yes, yes, there you go. I fired up Lauren Betts. That's what I did. That was my whole call. I like UCLA's colors. I do like the blue and the gold. It looks striking. I was a fan of John Wooden, so there you go. I was just trying to motivate. Hopefully, well, all she did today, I did not see her go back to sports bugaboo. I hate it when she has the ball. Let's see, I'm left-handed, so I go left. I hate it when she has the ball and she spins right. Oh my god. So I didn't see her do that. I much rather when she has the ball with the right and she goes left. That's when Lauren's at her best. Um, USC, yes, the Heat. USC is way better. I mean, uh, I'll give it to you. I'm gonna butcher your name, Realm, I guess. Uh, sorry if I butchered your name, but that's what I do. I will tell you this. Um, Today is your day. You celebrate, but if I'm a USC fan, I'm not feeling too bad seeing that UCLA shot 50% from three, and it was still a game in the last minute. So before you go celebrating too much, yeah. But I do love UCLA's colors. They're striking, and I do love it when UCLA and USC play against each other. The uniforms are striking. I'm a bit of a uniform guy, much like Dave Damashek. I love the uniforms, and I love Texas as well. Their uniform, yes, it's good. All right, I need to. Okay, I'll wrap this up in 1:15. I think we're at 1:11 now, because some of you have to get your detention notes. You've come late. Oh my god. Yeah, so you have to get a detention note, but I'll stay another 3 minutes and for ball for real. USC had a shocking disparity, and yes, they did. The problem was is because they were walling up on Juju. So whenever Juju got past, because Juju couldn't depend on her shot, so Juju was taking it to the basket, and then they would wall up, and then that leaves gaps to rebound. Again, I'm not a big guy that we're not trying harder doing this. It was essentially that. But if I'm USC, I tell you what, I like Samuels better than Heckle off the bench. I tell you what, she puts good ball pressure on the ball. I really, really like her. Yes, UCLA was returning from a road trip last game. Yeah, no, I mean both of them, like Jaquez is sick. I think Marshall's been sick. These 2 teams have done a hell of a lot of plane trips. You get sick when you're in the plane. They've done a lot of travel. They've earned their 2 weeks off. I don't know if next year will they do the Big Ten turn or will the Big Ten tournament ever come out west and make everybody else travel? Um, UCLA's defensive numbers aren't better. Like they played better defense today, but I think overall nobody plays USC's defense. They're nasty. USC's defense with Juju and Smith on the wings, and then they can have Marshall and Akinwafu off the bench, and Kiki and Samuels off the bench. Yeah, it is just that's why I'm big still on USC. The key thing was they didn't get injured. Go have some rest, and they're ready for the tournament, in my opinion. Yeah, Kennedy Smith puts so much pressure on Rice. She gets a little bit handsy at times. She gets over aggressive, but man, love Kennedy Smith. And she couldn't hit a shot. Like she had 2 or 3 open looks in the corner and she airballed them. And you have days like that. Mama said there'd be days like that. She had a day like that. Big deal. That's why if I'm a USC fan, I'd be like, yeah. If we play you a fourth time, UCLA, yeah, do your best at shooting 50% from three. Yeah, if you don't shoot 50% from three, we got you. But UCLA should celebrate tonight. South Carolina, you should feel good about yourself. You still own the SEC. Duke, Kara Lawson, well done to you. You got your inaugural tournament championship. Good for you. And then the last one, Haley Van Lith. Yes, you got the last laugh. Back to Sports was crushing you last year. I'm handing out apologies to everybody. So Haley Van Lith, yeah, you put it Back to Sports face because I wasn't sure about. I can't remember if I was critical of her going to TCU or not. I think I thought that was good, getting out of the SEC. It, I thought Mississippi State might have been a good thing. I think she was smart for not going to Mississippi State. So yeah, she did well this time. UCLA played a good, barely beat USC. Even if USC, if shots fourth, they would have won. And UCLA already beat them twice. Yeah, TCU got a lot of vets via the portal. Yeah, I mean they're just a old team. They've got didn't Big B play for USC last year? I think they got like Big B, and then part of the sell off project of Oregon State. I think they got Donovan Hunter as well, and then they Connor can play. Like TCU starting um, offense is good. They're really good. They can't shoot for a lick, but their offense is really 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 good. They know what they're doing. So again, I think TCU an Elite Eight. All right, we're at 1:15. We're gonna go. If you enjoyed this, give it a like. Isn't that what I'm supposed to ask? I don't ask you guys for likes. If you think this video was worthy, oh, let's see. I'm joining late. Okay, you got to get your tardy note. I'm joining late. You may have already discussed, but what do you think leading Duke to with? What do you think is leading Duke with the upsets? Their defense. They have good defense, and then thank you. Oh my God. Yeah, Duke is living off their defense, and then they need players to go off. So Jackson and who was the other one that she put? Akanawa. Yeah, Akanawa. Anyway, I'm butchering it. I'm tired, but yeah, yeah. So I'm liking these live streams a little bit more. So I might go more live streams because then I can edit it afterwards. So, oh, that's very nice of you, Marlon. I appreciate that. Yeah, what I'm thinking about doing is doing more live streams and just focusing on the questions y'all ask because y'all ask good questions. Like it's good because it's it's not dumb. Sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but it's not like we're gonna do this. Like it seems like I like the audience for the most part that we have. Like most people do well on it. They say smart things of it. So, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like initially when I started my channel, I didn't know much about women's basketball. I got to confess, like, and I'm still learning everything else. But most of mine was like, she's bad. Haley Van Lith's bad, and here's why. Or they're going to be great. But I didn't have. Yeah, there was not a lot of poison, and now that I've know the names and the personnel, at least I can tell you what I think, and I'm seeing the numbers better. The best thing I've done is the CBB analytics. Like I love that because it feels like it gives me a more informed and choice or informed opinion on what's going on instead of saying, "Oh, she was doing her thing and she did well." I can say, "Okay, here's the thing: she can shoot from the 3-point line, but the mid range she's bad." Or this is where this team struggles with. Instead of just using your eyes, because your eyes lie to you all the time, and that's what I'm trying to do. And the other one that I tried to do is I think a lot of people think, oh, it's women's basketball. Whatever you do, you can't criticize women. And I'm not looking to criticize them as women, but criticize the play. I think if you don't do that, then you're being more sexist than ever. So my whole thing is, hey, um, if I would criticize a guy for that behavior or for that the way you're playing, then I'm going to do the same thing with a female basketball player. That's the way it should be done. Like I used to crush Liz Cambage. If Liz Cambage was an NBA player, she would have gotten crushed. I mean, she would have been like Ben Simmons, who just got annihilated. Same thing with Corey Close. Like if Corey Close can you imagine if she was the Bruins men's head coach? We all laughed a second ago about the thought of Corey Close being fired, but if she was the Bruins men's coach and lost to USC, I don't know on the men's side if USC men are good or not, but if she would have done that, then she would have been fired. Like sometimes they handle and my whole desire is just to talk basketball, judge it on its merits, and I don't think anybody's bad, but I just say, okay, this is why I think this player is better than that one. So that's my take on that. I think that's a good place to end it, and that's what I'm going to keep on doing. So yeah, my plan is to keep on probably doing these, and then I'll edit it afterwards to try to put up screen grabs or just B-roll so anybody can watch that likes to watch. Anyway, thanks so much for coming to this tonight, and yeah, it's good basketball. um, I've got to work next Monday, so I'd love to do a live stream after the bracket, but I don't know. If I did, it would have to be like a late one, like at 3 p.m. So we'll see. But you have to. It's a public holiday here, so it's Monday in Canberra. That's why I'm able to do this. All right, thank you guys. Have a great night.